bad.
Best scene, looking for Ruth. Begin montage. Gas station. April fills the tires with air. Grocery store. April picks up a store shopping basket and walks down several aisles and fills the basket with snacks and items and drinks. Outside grocery store. April places a grocery bag in her bicycle basket and starts to pedal down a neighborhood street. April stops after a block and turns the bike around and starts riding in the opposite direction. End montage. Exterior house day. A state trooper car is parked in the driveway. April knocks on the front door and Denny answers.
Nice ride.
Found it in the garage. Got a bike?
Yeah, the kids and I like to ride around.
How about a spin to the park?
Exterior town park. Day. Sitting on a picnic table, munching on snacks.
I'm sorry for all you're going through right now, April.
I knew this was coming someday. Why now, though? Everything was fine just as it was.
Denny gently gives April a little fake punch to her shoulder.
Hey, I know you. You're a tough girl. You got this covered. Geez, just think if you had my luck. Messing up my marriage, seeing my kids every other week, living here in our small old town. Yeah, lots of excitement goes on here. Most exciting thing that happened lately was I pulled over a speeding car driven by a beautiful city lady. Oh yeah, that was you.
Denny, you are pretty funny, you know. You have two of the most adorable children I've ever met. This town is a good place to raise those kids of yours. You are an amazing dad. Reminds me of us. You, me, and Ruth. Do you remember all those summers we spent riding our bikes all over town? Being here at my mom's really makes me think about the old school days with you and Ruth. I was looking at some old photos today, and they sure made me smile. Do you still keep up with Ruth? I'll admit I have lost track these past several years.
Denny's face grows white and he starts to fidget.
I have the kids tonight and I should really head home. I need to pick them up from school. Say, how about we all go out for pizza? The kids would love to see you. Pick you up about 5?
Exterior house day. April stands outside the neighborhood house that looks very similar in age to that of her mother's house. April knocks on the door. Mrs. Wallace, an attractive woman in her 70s with beautiful gray curly hair, answers the door.
April, honey, come on in. I was so sorry to hear about your mother. I was away last week. I wish I could have been there for you, dear.
They head into the living room. Mrs. Wallace motions to April to have a seat on the couch.
What are you planning on doing with the house, dear?
I thought I would put it on the market.
We could always use a good lawyer right here in town. Maybe you would think of moving back. I know Denny would love it if you were here. I run into him from time to time. So nice to see how he's grown into the person I always knew he would be.
Thank you for your kind words. I don't think this is the right place for me. It does work for Denny and his family. I'm so sorry to trouble you, Mrs. Wallace. I know this seems strange, me not being in touch for a while and all. I'm hoping to get a contact number for Ruth. Working on Mom's house has got me feeling nostalgic. I'm thinking I need to reach out, just to say hi to her or something.
Oh, honey, we have some catching up to do. I need to go get you something. Sit right there for a minute. I'll be right back.
Mrs. Wallace gets up from the chair she's in and leaves the room. Mrs. Wallace returns to the room carrying a cloth reusable shopping bag. Mrs. Wallace places the bag on a coffee table in front of April. Mrs. Wallace sits down in a chair across from the couch and reaches her hand out to touch April's hand.
I don't want to upset you, April, but there's just no easy way to say this. We lost Ruth just over a year ago, dear.
I'm not clear what you're saying. Lost Ruth? You haven't heard from her? What, she hasn't called you in a year? So like Ruth.
Honey, not quite like that. She had cancer and she fought a tough fight. It took her rather fast.
I'm not following. I'm not understanding. What are you telling me? Ruth is dead? Why didn't I know? Who knew this? My mother? Denny? Everyone?
I know this isn't easy news to hear, and right on the heels of your poor mom. This is what Ruth wanted. She made us promise we wouldn't tell you. You know Ruth, she had her stubborn side. She said one day you would come looking for her, and you had to find her in your own time. I know this sounds just awful, and I'm so sorry. I went along with what she asked. I should have found you, dear. I should have told you what was going on.
Stunned, tears rolled down April's face.
This is messed up. This can't be. I am so sorry for you, Mrs. Wallace. I should have been here for you. I'm not understanding. I'm a bit confused.
I have to say, after all my Ruth went through, all her wandering around, and I'll say it, all of her haphazard relationships, she was so happy these past several years. She found a wonderful guy and they married, and I have an amazing granddaughter. My little grandgirl has crazy curls and bright eyes just like Ruth Ann. Ruth left this package for you. This bag here has something she wanted to get to you. She made you some recordings.
Mrs. Wallace pulls out a small mini cassette recorder and a few mini cassette tapes from the cloth bag.
She knew one day you would show up, and she said you would understand once you gave a listen.
Mrs. Wallace hands over the bag with the recorder and tapes. Stunned, April rummages through the bag and pulls out a photo of a beautiful smiling Ruth holding a 3-year-old girl with a mop of curly hair and a big bright smile.
Is this your granddaughter? Ruth's daughter?
Yes, she is my pure joy. I only wish they were closer so I could see her more.
Also, tucked in at the bottom of the bag, April pulls out a familiar-looking long red scarf.
I remember this old scarf.
April digs in the bag again and finds a well-known folded paper map of New Mexico with a drawn heart around Magdalena and a thick red marker.
I know this is a lot to take in. I'm not sure what really happened between you two girls. You were just like sisters. Ruth always loved you, you know. She so looked up to you. Ruth thought you were the most talented person she knew. You and all your school accomplishments. She said if she could only be a bit like you, she would be happy.
Exterior, outside Denny's house, early evening. April's sitting in her car outside of Denny's house, waiting for him to pull up. As she pulls up to the state trooper car, April jumps out of her car and starts screaming. Denny, looking at her like she's crazy, gets out of the patrol car. April begins to hit him.
You son of a bitch, Denny! Over a year? You couldn't tell me about Ruth? I'm fucking mad at you, Denny Jones. I hate you, Denny Jones.
Simultaneously, April is hitting him and screaming. Denny reaches over and picks her up, carries her into the house, and places her down onto the couch.
Shh! Just chill for a minute, will you? The neighbors will call the state troopers. Oh yeah, that's me.
Don't shush me! And don't even try to be funny. I am so mad right now. I can yell if I want.
Denny exits to the kitchen and returns with a bottle and 2 rocks glasses.
Here, drink this. Calm down, please. This wasn't my idea. We just went along with what Ruth wanted. I know it was stupid. I know I should have told you. I promise, though. Hey, I'm not the one you should be yelling at. Just breathe for a second.
Sitting on the couch next to April, he pours them both a tall shot into rocks glasses. Denny reaches over to give April a hug. April pushes Denny away, tears rolling down her face.
Do not touch! Don't you get it? I hate you right now, Denny Jones.
Interior living room night. The bottle is half empty on the coffee table and April is asleep on the couch. Denny gently covers April with a blanket, kisses her forehead, and turns to walk down the hall to his bedroom. Interior, Denny's room night. April stands over Denny as he sleeps. She pokes him awake.
Denny? Denny? You awake? I think I could use that hug now.
Denny, startled, sits up in bed and takes a second to figure out what's going on. Denny reaches to pull April down to him. April starts to cry and lays down, curled up in Denny's arms.
How did this happen? I really need that hug.
April, still dressed in her clothes, falls asleep in Denny's embrace.